Welcome to Senior Moment with Nurse Linda. We're talking about CPR for professional rescuers.
And
This
first
is for
aid.
everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. This is a cover of the student handbook, American Safety and Health Institute. Da, 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 da. And this is Senior Moment with Nurse Linda. There's Nurse Linda. And we're going to be talking about CPR. Why don't you grab that little baby
Oh,
one?
the
I think
baby?
that's
Sure.
cute. Yeah.
We have our baby mannequin. It's one of the mannequins we use in the class for demonstration because when you learn how to do CPR, you learn hands-on. One thing that's important to realize, and I've had it happen twice within the last month now, we've actually had professional caregivers, that means nurses, call us that they've taken an online class for CPR. But as a professional caregiver, you also need the hands-on portion. You need to be tested for your skills. And what they have found is these online CPR classes are saying fully accredited, accepted everywhere, hospitals, nursing homes, etc. Well, here in South Carolina, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, and I don't know how many other places, in order to be CPR certified as a professional rescuer, you need to have the hands-on portion. None of these places offer that. So you pay them your $15, $20, and you walk away with a card that says you took the test, the written test. Now you've got to go somewhere else and pay more money to get the hands-on portion. And the people, because they're not affiliated with instructors anywhere, you have to retake the test. You can't use the test you just spent $15, $20 on. It's absolutely, I've emailed a couple of these places and said, as a professional rescuer, I also need the skills portion. How can you help me do that? And one place was very nice and responded very professionally. I'm sorry, we don't provide that for you. Here's who I recommend you contact. Another place says, we provide excellent service. If you need it, find somewhere else to go. They were very rude, very nasty, and people need to read the fine print.
Defensive. They were defensive.
Very defensive.
Yeah.
Oh, they sent me a whole big long 3 paragraphs of how wonderful they are and all the things they do, and in one line said, we don't do skills. So if you need that, go somewhere else.
Yep.
So read the fine print. There are a lot of online programs out there that do offer, they contract with people like me. You take your online portion with them and then do the skills with me. But a lot of places don't. Read the fine print very carefully. And you're always better off just coming to Red Cross, American Heart. They have the blended learning is what they're calling it now, American Safety and Health Institute, ASHI, okay, who provide the online portion so you can take it at your leisure and then come in and just do the skills testing.
Well, I went through this as a journalist many years ago because I was headed to South Africa and the Middle East, and you can't find a doctor behind every tree. So I went to 80 hours with St. John's Ambulance who taught this stuff. They did everything from delivering babies to snake bite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've delivered 3 babies in my life. That's the last time I registered as Dr. Campbell at a hotel. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, you have a baby. Yeah, well, never mind. But anyway, you got to get this training for your own family.
For your family, for your friends, for your children, for your neighbors. It's just so important. There was an article online today, as a matter of fact, of a woman whose 2 daughters had gone into the bathroom and locked the door behind them. The older of the 2 started screaming, "Mommy, help, Mommy, help." The younger one, 14 months old, had fallen headfirst into the toilet. The older one couldn't get her out. The mother broke the door down kicked it in. The mother happened to be a nurse, was able to begin CPR immediately. The child is going to be fine. But it's having that skill because you don't know what's going to happen in there.
Bathroom doors have a little thing you stick a straight piece of wire in there and it pops open.
Yes.
And they're also light framed so you can kick them down.
Yes. And at that point, I'm sure she wasn't going to go look for something to stick in the door.
Yeah. Well, I would have gone through the door.
Exactly. Now, around my house, because I was the oldest of 5, we've had a lot of bathroom incidents over the years. We actually kept something on top of the door. So all you had to do is reach up, grab it, and open the
Oh,
door. And
clever.
in my house now, we still have that. So any bathroom door in my house you can get into without a problem.
So
But
the kid's okay.
the child is fine, yes. Yes. They were able to get her revived. But again, you don't know. Having the skills of the first aid skills. We had an incident in our neighborhood 2 summers ago where a young man was not following the rules of the road, came down the road on his bike on the wrong side, and a truck making a left-hand turn, and the young man ran into the truck. He ran into the side of the truck. The truck, because he was on, never saw him coming, and he had a potential neck injury. He was thrown about 10 feet off his bike, and the dad was at the scene, and the dad pushed me away 3 times as I was trying to hold the child's head still. You want to keep the cervical spine still.
What did you tell this
Basic
jerk?
first aid. I told him he has got to keep his head still, and he pushed me over and said, "He's my son. Get the F away from him." And at that point, I was not about to get myself hurt.
Nope.
So I stepped away. When the ambulance arrived, I told them what was going on and that dad was being a little difficult. And a couple large firemen stepped in and took care of the problem. So, and if I had somebody else's backup, it wouldn't have been a problem because then I would have had somebody else to be
You
my
told me you were a
wingman on
nurse,
it.
and so
Yes.
I didn't care.
I identified who I was, what my training was, and this, because the child was uncooperative, he was upset, he was hurt, he was confused as to what happened to him. We needed to take charge, and Dad was more concerned that he was crying and what have you than what the potential injury could have been. So
Yeah.
understanding that, taking first aid classes, and it doesn't take a long time.
Nope.
CPR class is anywhere from 4 to 8 hours at the most.
What does it take to get certified to be a CPR person, get you a card?
Oh, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, depending on the type of class you take, because there's different levels of classes for everyone who needs it. Someone who wants just an adult version of CPR, 3 hours. That's all it takes.
That's actual pumping the dummy and
Taking
training
the
and
test, getting the information, if you want something child and adult, if you want AED information, if you need as a professional. So there's different levels depending on how much you need. Basic, adult, CPR is what everybody should have.
what does that cost?
It depends on where you go for it. Anywhere
Here,
from
to go here. We're talking here.
anywhere from $30 to $120, depending on the class you want to take. Our classes are $40.
Cool.
So yeah, we try to stay reasonable because we want people to take the classes. We don't want money to be an issue.
803-941-7231. That's 803-941-7231. Call Nurse Linda. See if you need to take it. You do. Basic course.
Basic course.
Hey, is somebody's life worth $40?
Exactly. And we do it to music too.
You do.
We do it to the Bee Gees. We do CPR to the Bee Gees, yes.
And no extra cost.
No, we have fun.
Well, stay tuned for next week. We'll be talking about Christmas season and what to do. You've been listening to and watching Nurse Linda from Brook Healthcare, LLC, meeting your everyday needs every day. And tune in every week because we're here. And I understand that you've been approached to do an actual on-the-air radio program. We'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
You've been listening to Senior Moment with Nurse Linda. Thank you.